Right, just before we crack on with this episode, just a quick word about our sponsor, KS Civils and Groundworks Limited, based in Leeds. They have over 296 years of combined experience in civil engineering and groundworks. Led by Director Carl Smith, their team is known for honesty, reliability and commitment to the highest safety and quality standards. They're proudly ISO accredited and fully CHAS Elite accredited. No matter the size of your project, KS Civils and Groundworks delivers professional, trustworthy service you can rely on. To learn more, visit kscivilsandgroundworks.co.uk. Now let's dive back into this episode. Hi, welcome back to the podcast. Tonight I've got Trevor Giles on. Now, I was a bit guilty of not researching Trevor too much because I've been busy with other things and I'm idle. But when I've just asked him for, I was going to write an intro, and he was like, "Yeah, well, I joined the Navy, and then I left, and I joined the Army." And I was like, "Right, okay, right, fair enough." So Trevor joined the Navy in 1991, transferred over to, or did you get out and then transfer?
I had to officially leave for 24 hours and then rejoin the Army, yeah.
That's bad, isn't it? Yeah, so in 1997 he moved over to the RLC, and then later on became a quarry, which very different, very, very different trades there, I must admit. I think we'll learn about that in a minute. Anyway, welcome to the podcast. I hope you're well.
Yep.
So if we just want to start off normal 5 questions that we have. So it's like, where did you grow up? Why did you join the military? What was it like? Why did you leave? And what have you done since? So if we just want to start off with the first question, which is, where did you grow up? Well, first 2, really. Where did you grow up and why did you join the military? Just to give us a bit of a background on you.
I grew up in Gosport, Hampshire, so traditionally a Navy town. And that almost answers the second question.
Yeah.
My dad was Navy. My granddad was Navy. So it was almost a natural progression. I knew that's what I wanted to do. When I was in school, I passed the entrance exam at 15 and a half. I joined at 16 and 1 month and left home.
Oh, I know Gosport. Frobisher Close and Rona.
Yep.
Yeah, well, I lived on both of them.
Round the corner.
Yeah, literally. So I was in 4-7 that were over at Thorney Island.
Yeah.
Some of our quarters were in Gosport. And so my first ever quarter was in Frobisher Close. It was a fucking dump. It was awful. But I did like Gosport. I must admit, I really did enjoy living there. It was getting the ferry over to Portsmouth for free, paying £1 to get back. That was odd. That was the other way around, I can't remember. But yeah, Navy everywhere, isn't it? It's just Navy.
Yeah. Like I say, Frobisher Close is literally around the back of me.
Yeah. I'm surprised they're still standing, to be honest.
Yeah, no, they're. I bought one when I left the Army. I bought one of the ex quarters, and it's bomb proof.
Fucking hell, the ones they used to send if the wind got up, they used to send us home from work just to make sure the roofs didn't come off the flats. I mean, they've probably done them up, but that was 90, 91, 1990. Lived there in 1990.
Yeah, 1996, I believe they sold them off, but when they sold them off, they modernised the roofs so they weren't flat roof. They were single pitch. They were single pitch roof instead.
They were quite. Well, I mean, they were nice big flats. Like I must admit, I'll give them that. But that's about it. So I mean, joining the Navy. I've had people on who podcasts who were in the Navy. And I must imagine the joining process is the same as joining the RAF or the Army. I mean, where did you go for your basic training? And I'll rephrase that. So when you joined the Navy, what was your idea? What did you want to do in the Navy?
Be a chef.
Okay. It's an odd one. But that's an odd one to me because I don't like cooking. But go on then.
Yeah, I think at school I enjoyed cooking, so I was wanted to join the Navy, so I just put the two together.
Yeah.
Didn't quite work out.
Right.
I failed the course.
What? I thought
But
in the army they say everybody failed it.
well, yeah, there is that.
Yeah.
So then I retraded and went in. When I left school, I didn't have any qualifications. So I literally just went, okay, I can't do that. I'll become a steward. So that is like almost the last chance saloon.
But it's a job. But it's a
Well,
job, isn't it?
yeah, that's it. And it was a job, and I enjoyed it to a point. Granted, there were some times that you work in long hours when everyone else was ashore, because there'll be a cocktail party for the officers or whatever, So you get stung to stay behind and do that. So you'd miss out sometimes on some runs, but we used to have a good laugh. We got caught once, big scale electric track, middle of the night. We thought nobody was around, so we dug it out, stuck it on the wardroom table, and we was racing them round. And one of the junior officers joined in. The XO came in. Me and the Killick steward, we flip flopped out the back door, and he got caught playing it in the wardroom. So you kind of stitched him up a little bit.
So, I mean, what was it like turning up for training then? I mean, because the Navy's you've got like, as I understand it, there's always like two trades. You've always got two trades.
Navy basic training, it wasn't too dissimilar really to the Army basic training. You still had all the usual, the kit inspections and the kit musters where everything's laid out like lockers or beds. And you just did your naval knowledge, your seamanship and your knots and your marching, CBR or NBC as it was then, CBRN as it now is. You went to Pier Cellars to do some adventure training. So yeah, it was pretty much along the lines, same as the Army basic training, really.
Yeah. So what about I mean, going onto a ship is no matter what job you've got to do, you've got to know some seamanship and stuff like that, really, haven't you?
Yeah, to a degree. Yeah, you have to obviously, if you're not a seaman trade of sorts, then you did the general basic seamanship. If you were of the seaman type, you did more advanced seamanship.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was all right.
So I mean, where did you get to go? I mean, I suppose as a steward, like you said earlier, where they're getting to run ashore and you're stuck on a fucking ship and stuff like that. But I mean, you must have been all over.
So I did 6 years, but in that 6 years, obviously the first year really you got your training, your trade training, then you go to your first shore establishment and you do your task book, you get your task book done, then you sort of move up a little level, then you do another task book. So the first sort of couple of years you didn't really go anywhere, you didn't do anything. It wasn't until, I mean, my first ship was in 1993 on an HMS Illustrious. Didn't go anywhere on that because it had just come out of dry dock from a refit. So we joined it for sea trials, and I didn't enjoy that.
I was just bobbing around the Solent for a couple of hours, like.
Yeah, and then from there, I think I did 6 months on there. Then I went from there straight to HMS Nottingham, and then we deployed. I think it was 1 month before my 19th birthday. We deployed out to patrol the Bosnian coast. So yeah, we just literally.
Sounds like it could have been quite interesting, then.
Yeah. Apparently, they used to have Styx missiles, and they used to. We were sort of patrolling past, and apparently, if you look through the binoculars and the bridge, you can see them sort of following us.
Yeah.
And if you went so far, wherever, then there's that chance that they could just push a button and off you go.
True. Yeah.
Yeah. So
what
was that? But,
so what was after them then? So I mean, nowhere exotic and.
well, while we was on that tour, obviously we had to go and restore and refuel, and if we didn't do the refueling at sea, then obviously we go to other places. So I think we did Corfu 3 times. We did. What did we do? Bari, Brindisi, Sicily, Sardinia, Catania, Civitavecchia, Patras in Greece. Where did we go? We went down the south of France somewhere as well. So yeah, we did a few stop-offs.
It's more like a fucking 18 to 30 holiday, isn't it?
I think most of us probably were about that as well.
Yeah. I mean, in the army, you don't get to move about as much as what you used to. You tend to, especially if you're not in a regiment. I was, you're stuck with the regiment for a long time. Some people actually do careers within the same regiment, and we tend not to move about. But we're not Navy. Sometimes I wish I'd joined the Navy, but I don't think my scores were high enough when I went, and then so I ended up in the army. Well, I don't think I'd like to be stuck on a ship for, more than a couple of days, really, to be honest. It must be quite, I don't know, claustrophobic, is it?
No, I suppose it depends on your view of it, claustrophobic, really. I mean, the bunks were quite claustrophobic. If you didn't like confined spaces, then the bunk wouldn't have been for you. Because you didn't have to sit up much before you're whacking your head above you. I mean, on the Nottingham, I was quite
with a hot bunking with it.
Sorry, hot bunking.
Yeah.
No. Submarines, I think they do the hot bunking.
Yeah.
Basically, one lot are on watch, and then the other lot are sleeping, and then they swap over.
So what was after Nottingham for you then? Did you go back on shore, or was it another ship?
Yeah, after Nottingham, we came to the conclusion the sea didn't agree with me. Having to go down to the see the dock every day for 2 injections to stop you throwing up. Wasn't my idea of fun anymore. So yeah, I'd meet with my boss, and we sort of had a mutual agreement that I wasn't really fit for the sea, and that's where I asked, could I transfer to the army? And he went, no, because that's downgrading yourself.
Oh, I.
Yeah,
really?
Yeah. So that was an interesting conversation. So yeah, I'd officially leave for 24 hours, and then start the rejoining process into the army.
I've known guys who've done it, have done it the other way around, but generally into the RAF. And yeah, it's weird how you've got to leave for a day, and then you go back again and start all over again. It's crazy. So did you miss the Navy? Did you really want to leave?
There was elements I enjoyed of it, but like I say, being at sea didn't float me boat.
Literally. Yeah, literally.
Yeah.
So what made you pick the RLC then?
Again, it came down to educational qualifications and colourblind.
Okay, you've not had a good start, have you?
No, I didn't have the best start. No. Yeah, so it's. I just sort of, I started off with this massive, great big sheet of jobs, and I was thinking, cool, yeah, I'd fancy doing that. I fancy doing that. And I went in, and I went, yeah, I want to do this, or this, and they went, no, and no. I was like, why? You're colourblind.
Oh, bugger.
Yeah.
So what did you end up doing then?
I ended up obviously RLC driver.
Yeah.
Which was all right. You know, it was driving around, lots of driving exercises. Drive up from Aldershot to Scotland, up one side of the country, and then turn around and come back down the other side. And that was a bit about it, really. Servicing vehicles.
So what was the comparison like? You know, so you had to go through training again for the army?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
So what was the comparison like between the two? Because I mean, it's still been quite fresh in your mind.
Yeah. To be fair, I think it may have been an age thing. That obviously, when I went through my Navy basic training, I found it hard because I was the youngest person there, and obviously, first proper time of being away from home and all the rest of it, and you know, I just went through everything, and I found that hard. But when it came to the Army's basic training, I found it easier, probably for the reason I knew what was coming, knew what was expected. I already had that baseline of discipline from the Navy. So it was only the learning of the ways of the Army that was really different. The SA-80 was the SA-80.
Yeah,
you know,
marching, yeah.
Yeah, the drill.
Getting shouted at, yeah.
So the drills for that don't change. The marching, the difference in the marching is you don't slide and glide and slip your foot in. You know, it's a stamp. So it wasn't too difficult to transition.
So what were the training staff like with you, knowing that you'd had a background in the Navy? Did they expect you to bring other people along as well, or
absolutely
did they pick on you? Or
no, I wasn't picked on. It was I was expected to help other people out. Obviously, I could whiz everything out, do my ironing, get my boots done, and I wasn't going to sit on my bed and just. Well, we didn't have phones then, so read the paper. Of thought. I used to help people out with the ironing or do the boots. Boots was my thing. I used to enjoy building boots, so I used to quite often sit in a corner or sit out in a corridor and build boots for people.
It's surprisingly therapeutic, isn't it?
Oh, I can fall asleep building boots.
Yeah, I fucking hate it. I hated it. I hated it that much. I had to paint mine. We were lucky looking back years ago when I was stationed in Gosport when the RAF base was still there. So RAF Gosport. And we used to take our boots. We used to get a brand new pair of boots out of stores, and we'd take them over there with a yellow handbag of beer and give them to somebody, and they'd spray them with this like lacquer. And this lacquer didn't crack, so it turned them into like painted leather. It was absolutely. They used to paint it on tornadoes or something like that.
Nose cone.
Great. You got the yellow one back. Yeah, nose cone paint. Yeah.
Yeah, nose cone paint.
You come back with your boots that are fucking completely and utterly sorted, and they'd last forever. So there's no bother to them. I've been guilty of the old, putting the old clear on your boot now and again, and then
I've tried that one.
Parade. Yeah, I got picked up on parade for having they said, "You haven't bulged your boots, have you?" I says, "No." He says, "Look, how come they're that shiny?" I said, "Because I fucking spray painted them." And it just went, all right. Carried on. So I can't fault you for it because they look good. So I clear lacquered them and everything. It was great. I had this old pair of boots that wouldn't move, so they didn't crack or anything. Lasted me for fucking years. So what was it like going to your first posting then in the ROC and then them discovering there that you were a matlow?
I didn't.
No? You kept it quiet, did you?
Yeah, especially when it was 82 Airborne.
Oh, fair enough.
Yeah, I was 5 Airborne Brigade, 82 Airborne down in Aldershot I was. And, Yeah, I kept it quiet for a fair while. I think it was only when the first Jubilee medal came out. Or one of the recent ones. I say recent, it would have been about 98 or somewhere around there. 98, 99. And they went, how come you're getting one? You've only just passed out of basic training.
Right, yeah. I'd have said I was in a TA.
Yeah. Yeah, and obviously, because you had to have served, I think, 4 years or something to qualify. And I was like that. And then that's when it came out that, that's how I got it. So, yeah.
You get the mick taken out of you, or?
Not for too long.
No. So no mention of Golden Rivet or skates or anything like that.
No, there was, yeah. The Golden Rivet did pop up a few times, yeah.
Yeah. When I tell people, like I was saying, I lived in Gosport, and we used to spend a lot of time, going to like Joanna's and Southsea and places like that. Is that still open? I wonder. There must be many stories about Joanna's around people's lives around that area.
I've been there once.
Yeah, once is enough, isn't it? It was weird. We were going in there, and the bouncers would go, right, you're not coming in. I was like, why not? Navy. I was like, we're not Navy. Yeah, you are. We're not. Prove it. Pull ID cards out, show them we were in the army, they'd let us in. As soon as they thought anyone was Navy, they'd go, no, you're not getting in. But it backfired as well. So when we come out and sit on the seafront, if we saw the shore patrol, we fucking legged it. Because they knew we were army, they'd be fucking coming to pick us up if they could. And it wasn't a pretty, they would take it out on us sometimes, if you know what I mean. But no, it was all good times. Like the area. Moved from there to Colchester. That was when the regiment changed to air defence, and we had to go. Us as gun buddies who worked on the guns had to go to different regiments. Ended up in Colchester after that. But I still have fond memories of those now. I really do. I spent most of the time there in the summer as well, so that was quite cool. But I enjoyed it. So I mean, you said you've gone to the RLC, you become a driver.
Yeah.
So I mean, what other postings did you get with that? Because you were there for 9 years.
Yeah, from Aldershot, I then when they moved from Aldershot up to 16 Air Assault in Colchester, I was posted to Abingdon 10 Squadron.
That's a big old place, that in Abingdon, yeah.
Yeah, big old place. So then, while I was there, went out to Canada. Where else did we go? I didn't do Cyprus. Missed that one. That was in Aldershot. I did go to Cyprus, though, with the Army swimming team while I was in Abingdon. Yeah, we had a 2-week training camp in Cyprus.
2-week training camp. Fucking hell. You're not supposed to be drinking while you're training, So while you were with the airborne lot, did you have to do your P company and stuff? Or?
No, I did. I was posted there.
Yeah.
Well, we was posted there, but if you were posted there, it was almost expected that you did it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and parachuting wasn't for me.
Just not for fucking me either. I can't see the point of jumping out of a perfectly good aeroplane. But
exactly,
each to their own. So, what made you then decide after 9 years in the RLC that it was no longer for you, the RLC?
There was kind of an inkling that I was into the medical sort of world. And it goes back to when I was in the Navy on the ships as a steward, when you formed part of the emergency first aid party where you would work alongside the surgeon, the ship surgeon. So in times of emergency, you would be called upon to assist the surgeon.
What, actually in the theatre, or?
Yeah. You'd be.
Well, I didn't know that. Never knew that.
Yeah, on the smaller ships, you've got like you might have like a junior doctor or whatever, or a surgeon lieutenant or whatever it is, and so the stewards and chefs generally doubled up on the secondary duties, duty first aid parties. So especially when we're like when we're doing the Bosnia tour, when you do an 8 on 8 off 24/7, you literally handed over the first aid bib to the next person. But yeah, so we did a lot of sort of first aid training, and we basically helped them out in the operating theatres if it was needed. So
and did that ever happen for you?
No.
I mean, that's a good thing.
Yeah, it is a good thing. Yeah, and then obviously, and so from that, when I was at 5 Airborne, I did my regimental medical assistant course. And then I tried to transfer to the medics as a operating theatre technician, as it was back then. There's now ODP now. Yeah. So there was all these little sort of signs there that's what, that I was interested in subconsciously, I suppose. And then,
I mean, I've always been, I would say in admiration of medics, to be honest. It's always the trade that I've always said they're the ones you don't want to be busy. If they're not busy, then everything's going hunky-dory. If they're busy, the shit's at the fan,
Yeah.
The main experience I've had with the medics was in 1995 in Bosnia, where we were attached to another regiment and we ended up being ambulance commanders. So we got stuck with the regimental first aid post, and we had to do like team medic courses, team medic cadre to a little bit higher level than that, because we were commanding the ambulance with 432s and Saxons and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But it was interesting. It was an interesting time. We had quite a good crew with us and stuff like that, and it was, we were quite lucky to not see too much mayhem, but we've seen quite a bit. That's what happens, But it was. Would I have wanted to join the medics? I thought about it. At one point, I was actually thinking of transferring to them after that tour and thinking, I enjoy that. But I'm glad I did, because, as it turns out, they got very, very busy later on.
Yeah. So, yeah, and then from there, like I say, when I was going through the application process for theatre technician, I went to Hasler. I did a placement in Hasler, and I got all the recommendations. Yep, absolutely, not a problem. And then I went for my final interview, and the qualifications you needed literally changed that week. So they changed it from just, go and do the course, blah, 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 and you're done. And it changed to like a university course, like a degree course. So then I needed higher qualifications. So going back to my school days, I didn't have any.
Fucking hell. You just not had much, have you?
Not a lot. Not till later on, anyway.
Yeah.
So yeah. I did get promoted. Got my lunch jack in the RLC. But then, obviously, the QA thing came up. I was like, I'll give that a go. And I was successful getting through to that. But then because of transfer, I had to drop back down to a private. But it kind of paid off, because then it took me 7 years to go from a private to a sergeant.
That's not bad going, then, is it?
Yeah, I did all right there. I sort of looked at the bigger pictures, looked at different courses I could do to sort of enhance what I was doing, both clinically and outside of the clinical world. And yeah, just put myself down for everything, and then ended up doing all my instructor qualifications, and then ended up as senior NCO training.
So what was the core ranks like then when you joined that? Again, you've started off at the bottom rung of the ladder again, really.
Yeah.
And, people who are just coming out of training would be in the same boat as you. So, I mean, you're, again, miles ahead. And like I said to you earlier before we started, I've not got that much experience of the QAs, apart from, them being in hospital and they've been there looking after us. But so is a QA, some people would probably class it as, they're freaking not real military. Well, I mean, they are, because obviously they are. But it's just a nursing army uniform type of thing. How would you go along with that?
Combat Barbie.
Yeah, type thing. I didn't want to be that derogatory, but yeah. And I wouldn't call you Barbie anyway, you know what I mean? Maybe it's a Ken. Yeah. So how different was it then?
Again, obviously, that they know your background. They get a lot of people that do transfer in, especially for the healthcare side, because I think there's more that transfer in than join direct. I don't know. I couldn't quote on that, but it certainly seemed like when I was doing it, the majority of the course was transfers. There's only
so where was the what's that for that? Is that down in Gosport again?
It was, yeah. We did it down at Fort Blockhouse.
Yeah. So I mean, most of the big hospitals have all gone by then, haven't they? Really?
Hasler was still open then. So I did a stint in Hasler before that shut down, and then we all got moved over to QA Hospital over in Cosham.
So I mean, we used to have one in Catterick, you had one in Woolwich, there was a few in Germany, Aldershot. Yeah, it was a good old, some good old nurses party nights from what I've heard. I won't go into that. So what was it like, working in like an hospital, like being in uniform? I mean, did you get placements into civil hospitals and stuff like that as well?
Yeah, you end up working all the civil hospitals, which I found at times quite difficult, because obviously the military have got a bit of humour about them generally. And then when you're kind of working alongside people where a lot of them were either not interested or they didn't have the same humour as you, obviously, because we're all weird.
I agree with that. Yeah,
dark humoured. And so it almost became a bit sort of soul destroying working alongside the NHS. Sometimes it was just
really,
yeah. That's why I'm not there now. There's no way I could work in the NHS, not with the way things are. I've got a friend who he was in the military. He works over there and hates it. I think he spent the last probably 6 years complaining. And I said, "Well, I don't get another job." And he's still there.
You do what you know. Sometimes, isn't it? It's quite a scary prospect to actually quit and move. I mean, it doesn't seem you're very scared of it. You've fucking moved about enough, So, I mean, is a healthcare assistant? Most of us won't know what that is. I don't. What is it?
So, healthcare assistant is basically your nurse's right hand. Is the way in the old days, obviously, nurses used to do a lot of the patient care and what have you. And then you had the nursing auxiliary, which pretty much you again, I don't know exactly what the nursing auxiliary did, but it sounded like they'd bring the cups of teas round. They might do the odd bit here and there. But obviously, as time's gone on and progression, the nurses have sort of almost taken on more of the sort of what the doctors were doing, writing notes and all that kind of stuff. And they seem to be doing a lot less hands-on. And then the healthcare assistants have sort of moved up that bit. And I believe the qualifications they get now are a lot better than what they used to be. And quite a few of the healthcare assistants will get up to the level 3 MVQs and then apply for nurse training. So they almost use it. This is where I was saying about the transfers in will come in as that and then almost use it as a stepping stone to get into the nursing.
Yeah, one of our lads who was in Germany with us, he did that. So that's what he wanted to do. So he transferred in. But I think, did he go straight into nursing? I don't think he did. He was in there for a little while before he ended up starting to go on his nursing degree. I mean, I've got a friend who is recently, well, I say recently, like 5-6 years ago, he got in with, started working in mental health in the NHS, and he's just finished his degree to become a mental health nurse. You know, it's such a long training. You know, it's a long time, and he loves it. I think with some people who I know, and I know quite a few who've gone from the military into the NHS, is they kind of look at the NHS not as an extension of the military, but as the replacement, because it's fairly similar in its structure type of thing, and they feel quite comfortable in it. But again, too many people in wrong jobs, and you know, people who aren't needed. And again, I've spoke to plenty of people who are in the NHS, you know, when they've been on the podcast and stuff, and they all agree. You know, there's too many middlemen, there's too many of these, there's too many fucking, you know, too much bureaucracy that it's just wasting money all over the place. It's just bleeding money everywhere. But, you know, hopefully in the future that'll change where the way they're restructuring the NHS in the future and stuff like that. So, I mean, going on from, you know, being a healthcare assistant, you mentioned that you were, you know, a training senior NCO. So how did that come about?
Again, obviously on the hunt for sort of promotion, there's only so much really you can do working in the hospital. So I kind of looked outside the box a little bit. What sort of things might interest me? Yeah, I started doing all the military training instructor courses, CBRN, BCDT, navigation SME, all that kind of stuff, and then a few adventure training qualifications on top of that. So that got me out and about doing other stuff as well, and then ended up at Portsmouth as the one of the training corporals there. Did a half decent job and got promoted.
So is that where the QAs go for their basic training? Or?
For patient training, no, I believe they go up to Lichfield now.
No, basic training, sorry.
Oh, basic training.
Yeah.
I did mine at Purbright, obviously, because I transferred. They used to go down to Blockhouse, but they don't go there, so I'm sure they go to Lichfield now.
Right, okay. So what was your job down in Portsmouth then?
Training junior, and then let's think about this now. Right, so I transferred in, went out to Afghan, came back, got promoted, did time in Portsmouth, went over to Germany, went to Afghan again, came back to Portsmouth, got promoted, went to Frimley Park Hospital, where I ended up being the ALO for a while. The old Aeromed evacuation liaison. Yeah, I ended up doing that for about 6-8 months.
Well, that was quite interesting. I mean, go back. You just, you know, you dropped in there, Germany and Afghan. So I mean, Afghan, busy fucking time.
Yeah.
You know, How was that an eye opener for you?
First time out there on Herrick 6. Herrick 6? It was in 2006. Might have been Herrick 5. And that was a total different kettle of fish to the second time when I went on Herrick 10. Like the injuries you see coming in were two total opposite ends. Because when we went out the first time, you didn't have all the IEDs that they did them the second time round, or they couldn't hit a barn. They couldn't hit a barn door from 10 paces away on the first one. But the second time, they had all snipers, so it was all different. It was from a clinical point. It was very interesting to see the difference. As a learning point, it was a big learning curve.
So, I mean, was there a massive difference in procedure from like you going out the first time to the second time? Because, I mean, as I understand it, the medical evacuations and stuff like that, and even the repatriations and things, everything got slicker and slicker and slicker, and people, and it just got better and better and better. You know, the golden hour, and the people were getting more. The doctors were coming over from the UK, with the reservists and stuff like that, and getting more and more. There was stuff happening over there that would never have happened in the UK, and it's progressed. In the field of medicine.
I believe the military doctors and consultants of that have been advising the NHS on procedures based on what we've done in Afghan, and sort of the stuff that we do out there. They were like, we need to be doing that. So yeah, there's a lot of that. There's, I mean, the surgeons, the military got are just absolutely phenomenal. This it's so interesting to watch what they do. It's nothing short of miracles sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, the first operation I ever watched anyone do, it was like, fucking hell. I mean, fucking guy had stood on a mine and lost most of his foot, and doctor's just like that. He's just like, right, we'll stitch his bits up that are still left. Close all the wounds up, and then his foot was hanging off by a bit of tendon. And he just went, right, pass the scissors. Somebody passed me a pair of scissors. And he went, snip, and a bin bag. We were like, the fuck's going on? Us lads in the artillery stood there, working with these medics and doctors. I'm just thinking, the fuck's going on? His bloke, he wasn't even asleep. This guy, he was wide awake. They'd fucking numbed his leg, but he was a Bosnian fella. Poor fucker. Stood on a mile, not far from where we were at. That's how we found out we were surrounded by a minefield, which was nice because we didn't know we were. The same, Herrick, it must have been quite intense, really. I mean, you said that the second one was a lot more intense than the first.
Yeah. Just, it's everything from the mechanism of the injury, that the fact that they got trained snipers on people, and there was so much that at times we were just, the hospital was just full.
Yeah.
And it's again, it's that ability to think on your feet and quickly and just go, we've got all these people coming in. What we're going to do? You literally got like these portable beds, like they're nothing short. I don't know if you may have seen them in the field hospitals or whatever, but they used to sort of fold out, and they're like oversized camp beds, really, on big legs. So you just got a load of them out and stuck them outside underneath the canopy, and they were the makeshift beds for overflow.
And was there many times that they were used, or had to be used?
There was a couple of times.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a couple of times where we were like fully packed out, and we're like, where are we going to put these?
I mean, it must take its toll on you as well. I mean, you're seeing, I mean, I suppose anybody working in a medical field is going to see, blood guts and fucking whatever.
Yeah.
But seeing it constantly every day like that in such an environment, it must take it out of you. Or could you just compartmentalize it and switch off?
We kind of got around that with obviously with the advances in information and how to deal with and process things. We would sort of obviously would have debriefs after it. We'd all sit in the evening, we'd talk about it, we'd sort of get it all out. And we sort of deal with it that way, really.
I mean, that's the way to do it. There's one thing I've learned that you need to talk about it. You do need to talk.
Yeah, that's it. And
you will do.
I spent so many years not talking that it did catch up with me and bite me in the arse at some point.
Was that after you left or while you were still serving?
That's while I was still serving.
Right.
And then obviously I went and got help. It was my wife that spotted it. And it was the constant sort of the schmooly effect. It was literally that. Whereas I wasn't like that before. And she said, "You need to go and speak to someone." I went, "No, I don't." Like you do. And I said, "Yeah, you do." So I did. I went and spoke to someone, and they went, "Yep, let's get you sorted out." So then
do you think that was? Sorry to interrupt. I just want to ask. Do you think that was easier for you to? I mean, it's not an easy thing to do. Is ask for help for a start. I know that. I'm not trying to belittle that in any way or make it sound any frivolous, because I know how hard that is to ask. That first bit of help. But do you think in the trade you were in, I wouldn't say you had access to a fucking doctor on, you have a fucking counsellor in your back pocket side of thing.
Yeah.
But do you think that helped, and along with the training that you'd had, do you think it helped your recovery?
I think because everyone's got the same sort of understanding. Because you've all gone through the same thing. It's a lot easier for the people you work with to understand.
Yeah.
Where you're coming from.
I suppose as well you've got the people around that you're working with are probably more caring than the guys that we were working with. You know what I mean? And you'll have seen that, while you were in the RLC and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's probably the type of person who's in the QAs than in the regular army, really.
Yeah. Right, come here. She ain't going to shut up to it. There.
Hello. I'm looking down as well like that, yeah. Coming back from Herrick, the guys used to go through decompression and stuff like that in Cyprus.
Yeah.
I think that'd have been just as as important for you to do as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we did decompression in Cyprus as well. I mean, most of us just want to get home. We weren't bothered. But it was the help I got the first time round. After it was the first tour in Afghan that I got the help afterwards. But the help I got there helped me on the second one. In sort of processing everything and how to sort of cope with it, coping strategies. And I'd say by that point, there was a lot more in place. So that helped. And the second time, you think would have been worst because I was the first time I was in the ward.
Yeah.
The second time I was in the emergency department.
Wow.
So when you look at the two, you think the ward would be the tamer of the two. But I found the emergency department far easier to cope with.
Was that because you were busier, or?
I think because you end up becoming almost blinkered to what you're doing.
Yeah.
Whereas on the wards, you might have been caring for someone for 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, like I was on the first one.
Mm-hmm.
So then you almost obviously you get that bond with the patients and you get to know them, and then things go wrong, and oh no, it's all gone wrong. And whereas with the emergency department, they're in, you deal with them, they go to the theatres or ITU, and then to the ward and back to the UK.
Yeah.
And then the process, I think, is a lot faster. I don't know.
You haven't got time to dwell on it. Well, you mentioned it there, the building of a relationship with someone.
Yeah.
Like you say, you're looking after someone day in, day out. It's going to form an attachment. It really is, because of the stuff that you're doing. You're looking after them as though you would be looking after one of your family members, really.
Yeah,
so
or
if you form that attachment, yeah.
Yeah, so you do sort of you form that bond, that that carer-patient bond, and you get to know them. So yeah, it was weird, but yeah, it's I loved working out in the emergency department. I think that was probably the highlight of it, just purely because of the learning factor of it.
Yeah.
The stuff you learn is such a massive learning curve. And yeah, I absolutely loved it. My wife said I came back on after that one as if I'd never even been away.
So, I mean, what made you actually want to leave the army in the end then, anyway? Because that wasn't the full time, was it?
Yeah, that was it then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, right, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like I say, I ended up coming back from Afghan and I got promoted to sergeant. And, I sort of bounced between Frimley Park and Portsmouth, in between in the training margin. So, yeah, and then I just basically, I think, for the last 7 years, I think, I spent in the training world. Which I enjoy.
That's a long time to be in one stint,
Yeah, like I say, I was just bouncing between posts, but just in the training.
Yeah.
Which I enjoyed doing.
So was this like getting people through mats and stuff like that, and so you're
Yeah.
dedicated? Yeah.
Yeah, there was match training. I ran bespoke training for whatever people wanted. Pre-NCO Carter courses. Adventure training. I used to take people on canoe and kayaking expeditions, stuff like that. So yeah, I really enjoyed that job.
I bet you did. You see, I mean, that's quite an alien job to someone like me who's come from a regimental background. And I didn't know about even the REMI had training. That was a trade.
Yeah.
So they'd have people there just they didn't have a trade as an electrician or anything like that. They were there to train people. They worked in the training room, and that was their job. Yeah, until they got rid of it. So when I was interviewing someone that told me about that, I was like, really? So, it was quite an alien concept to me. So I do understand what you were saying, that your job is to get everybody else trained. And I suppose with the QAs being such a small organisation now, you don't need a massive pool of resources to actually get that done.
Yes and no. um, when I was, it was a weird thing because you know I could have a Navy boss for an officer, an RAF warrant officer training, and then me. And you know when you were trying to explain, that's not how you do the training. This is what needs to happen. This is what's in the policy. This is what we need to do. So sometimes it's a bit of a challenge, but I managed to get it to. I literally got all the stuff that they were doing and chucked it in a bin, and then redone the entire package. Because what they were doing wasn't, they'd go for a wander around Queen Elizabeth Country Park and end up back at the cafe, and that was the navigation done. And I was like, if these guys ended up stranded in the middle of nowhere, they ain't going to know how to get out of anywhere. They're going to be stranded and stay stranded.
And if there's not a cafe around the corner, they're fucked, aren't they?
Exactly. So I just redesigned it. I took them all up Longmoor. I did one route for the day, one route for the night, and one route for land recognition.
I bet they loved you.
Yeah, well, it was, you know, if I was putting my name to it, then I wanted it to be
totally
good,
agree.
you know, decent quality training. So that's what I did. I just redesigned it all. But yeah, and again, that was just it was another challenge. So it's the challenge that drives you.
So when you were coming up to your time's done in the military, how did you feel about the transition from military into civilian?
I was ready to go.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the last 2 years going into resettlement period, I think just the way that everything was just changing so fast. It wasn't I couldn't keep up. I felt like when you first joined up and you had the old and the bold fossils, I felt that I'd become that fossil.
Yeah, I get that.
You know, because you think, you know, I joined.
Well, you had.
Yeah, I was at the 28-year point or 26-year point then, going into my last 2 years, and 28 years by the time I finished. And I had become that fossil, the old dinosaurs.
Yeah, it happens. We do get older, you know.
Who told you that?
No, I was the same, mate. I was the same. I did, you know, my last few years has done me on a desk, and I was that old grizzled fat full screw that, you know. But the thing is, you need people like that as well. And I'm not just saying that because I was one, but you do need people like that because there's some jobs that, you know, if you've got somebody who's downgraded or whatever, or somebody who can't do this or can't do that, and they're doing these type of jobs, working in the officer's mess, working in an RHQ, or whatever, you know. That frees up that space for somebody who's, you know, who can deploy, who can progress the career. You know, I mean, I got to a certain point for myself where I was never going to get promoted to sergeant, so you know that was never going to happen. You know, so I'm just in it now for the pension till the end. But then again, I was taking the job that somebody else who could have been a young thruster or whatever, you know, didn't have to do type of thing. You know, guys working in training wings, you know, we've seen them over the years. As I was growing up through the military, you know, you'd see, you know, a full screw in the training wing, and he's been there for years. You just think, what's he fucking doing? Well, he's freeing up a job for someone else, and he's good at what he's doing, type of thing. But I mean, going into Civvy Street, how did you find that hard? Like when you said you were ready, you know, did you find it an easy step into it, or?
Yeah, well, I did my gas and plumbing from a resettlement, and I was lucky enough to manage to get a job straight away and escape a month early.
All right.
So it was lucky, nice. Because at the time I was trying to buy a house as well. So at least I had a decent wage to sort of put towards a mortgage.
Yeah.
So everything was it fell into place really. And I pretty much fitted into the team, because when you're working with tradesmen, there's not a lot of difference in the banter and the way that they are. So
It's just blokes.
it was a,
You know what I mean?
it was a fairly easy transition, to be fair, for me anyway.
So, I mean, one of the reasons you've come on the podcast today is to promote Ambush.
Yeah.
So, do you just want to tell us about that and how you got involved with that as well, please?
Yeah, so Ambush Veteran Adventures, a guy called Matt Rugman started up a couple of years before COVID. And basically what it is, it's an activity weekend camp. And we provide a whole weekend of, it could be like canoeing, kayaking, bit of hill walking, because we work from Brown Down Training Camp. DIO, as part of our little agreement for letting us use the land, they might give us a couple of tasks to do for them. So we've done things like put posts into the ground, so like directional walkway posts. So we've done things like that. We've maintained the fort there, so we've cut all the weeds out the walls, cleaned all the old dead bushes back, all that sort of stuff. So it's stuff to sort of make the place usable, but it saves the landmark or DIO having to do it as well. So yeah, what else do we do? We do, obviously on the Sunday morning we try and do a cold water dip. So because of the location of the camp is literally right on the beach, so we just go for a walk outside the camp gate, walk down the beach, and we all sort of link arms and walk into the water together as a sign of sort of solidarity, that sort of brotherhood. And it's all there designed to help promote mental health and well-being.
I mean, are you finding you're busier and busier now? Or
it kind of peaked and troughed in the last year. It sort of started peaking towards the summer, and then tails off again towards the winter.
Which is understandable,
yeah. So we try and sort of mix it up a bit. So we've got two sides of the camp. We've got the fort side, which is the beach side, and then we've got a wild camp side, which is the other side of the camp across the road. So that's all done in the woodland. We've had Northern Limits, Bushcraft and Survival. They've come down and they have done the bushcraft sessions for us. So we've done fire lighting, so flint and steel, friction fire. We've made the old char cloth, all that kind of stuff. We've been provided with things like partridge, and they've taught us how to process those, cook them, various different ways. We've got a lady called Kit come in. She's a world-renowned, they call it man-stalking.
right.
And basically, it's like a tracker. So they'll look for signs of the ground of which way somebody's walked and how long ago they walked there, all that kind of stuff. So they call it man tracking.
That sounds quite interesting. I mean, so I've spoke to other, guys who've got like bushcraft setups and wellness camps and stuff like that, and wild camping places. Are you of the same ilk where every one of these doesn't allow alcohol? right? Because that's not what it's about. It's not a swally. It's not fucking smoker. It's not a
Yeah.
party again Ganguli for the wood.
No, there's not a no alcohol ban unless we've got we do specific camps for people like a Labre. So I don't know if you heard of Labre. They're a homeless charity that also
Oh,
deals
up in
Salisbury.
Salisbury area.
Yes.
Yeah. I have heard of them. Yeah.
Yeah. So we've worked with those, and we've put on a day or a couple of days of camps for those. And obviously for them, there are a lot of people recovering from alcohol and whatever else. So we do sort of go not on those. Other than that, it's pretty much a sort of 1 or 2 can limit. Not a massive.
Then.
Yeah, it's not a massive, great big shindig around a campfire.
Yeah.
It's all very sort of controlled, and the idea is of the campfire is almost like the symbolic part of it is to sit around the fire and talk, and get things off your chest if you want to get stuff off your chest, or just.
And do you find that people do relax once they've started talking and it comes out?
Yeah.
A bit and...
Absolutely. We have had a few people that have actually opened up to us, and we've ended up, sort of signposting them and getting them some support. We've recently sort of combined forces with Object or 2.0.
Yeah. Good people.
Yeah, so we've joined forces with them. We went and done one of their camps a couple of weeks ago. And I also went on one of the veteran walks.
Yeah.
Seen that? Yeah, veteran walks
with
over there.
Carol.
Yeah, that's it, with Carol. Me and Colin and Matt Rugman from Ambush. We all went along with them, and there's a whole bunch of us did the walk around Thorney Island.
Have they still got the gates there?
Yes.
Yeah, well, I was there when them gates got put in because they didn't used to be there.
Right? Yeah.
And they had video cameras on them, right? And they were shit houses. So we'd be in the little guard post at the front, and that's where the video thing is. And we wouldn't, people would obviously come on, press the buzzer and say, I'm coming on for a walk. And you buzz them in and they walk round, fucking pointless them being there, really. But we'd make people sing songs and dance before we'd open the gates. And they did. It was amazing. Thorney Island's such a, for anyone else who's, served in the military, and they don't know it's there, it's a gem. It's the best. For me, it was the best post to ever be in the artillery. It's the only place you've got your own beach.
Yeah.
It's absolutely phenomenal place.
I didn't even know.
Loved being on there.
I didn't even know there was sand around here till I walked around it.
Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it? It's seen a few people bog Land Rovers in there as well, thinking they were clever. Trying to get onto the next little. There's like another little island. When you get onto the beach and the tide's right out, there's like another little island, so people are going on the airfield, especially on guard. The bomb up there over the beach, and all of a sudden the tide had come in like that, and they couldn't get back. It was quite funny. No, with Thorney, I loved Thorney. But I mean, what you're doing there is, it's really, really good. Do you find that enough people are getting information out about what you do? Or are you struggling really to find people to come in and do the weekends and stuff? Do you get people referred to you?
Yeah, we do really. This year, we really want to ramp up the numbers to get a lot more people attending. Like I say, we are down here on the south coast, right on the beach. Is a prime location. And like I say, the things we do, it's being put on for free. A lot of the stuff that we've got in the store has all been donated or sort of purchased by us. So yeah, obviously the other part of it is trying to fundraise as well. So we've got the Yorkshire Three Peaks Challenge coming up at the end of March, and we're trying to sort of drum up some support with that.
You've just. I'm sorry. I'm listening. I'm just writing all this stuff down. Because obviously, when we put the podcast out, I want to put that out there as well. But you've also given me an idea about something else as well, which I won't go into now on the podcast. This will be a future thing, but I'll talk to you about it afterwards. So, I mean, if anyone wants to get in touch with us, obviously they don't have to be, on the South Coast or whatever. So, I mean, obviously we'll put the links in for your socials and website and stuff like that out of it. Do you find it hard at the moment to get funding, or are you okay with that as well?
No, we're far from it.
Yeah, as I'm starting to discover about funding, it's not readily available.
No, we quite often find that it's such a bit of a lottery of who gets it, and the minefield you've got to go through to go through the process of trying to get the funding is half the battle. Obviously, you got to find it, and then you got to apply for it, and then you got to fight for it.
I might be going through something like that quite soon myself, and I'm not looking forward to it.
Yeah. I mean, we did. When was it? Back in middle of January, the mayor of Gosport invited us down to the parlour to have a meeting with her, and she was going to sort of put the feelers out and sort of see how she could help. And I think she sent a link out because there was some sort of it wasn't a mayor, like a council pot of money for organisations and stuff like that. So
I mean, getting the funding, private funders or whatever, it's a minefield, from what I understand. And a lot of guys, like you're doing the 3 peaks to raise money and stuff. I mean, it's for you to cater for how many other people you have for the weekend. If you're not doing it. Yous are doing. I'll rephrase this. I nearly said something wrong there. Yous are doing it for free because you're not getting paid, but it costs money. It's got to come from somewhere. And that's the hard part of it. Whether the government should be giving out more grants or have a pot for the smaller charities and the CICs and stuff like that, and it to be more readily available. I think there's things in the pipeline coming along that may ease that. But as you know yourself, the funding has to be applied for. You might get in on the 1st of March or wherever, and you don't see anything until a year later because you've got to go through that whole process and everything like that. It's just a minefield. It really is. I mean, have you finding that the guys that are coming on from all walks of life, the Navy, Army, and Air Forces or primarily Army? Or...
Yeah, we've got a regular RAF. We've got a lady from the Navy. She comes down. We've got RFA. Plenty of Army. And we have this year open it up as well for blue light veterans, serving members of the military and serving blue light and the families. Because they're all in it together.
Yeah.
So we
forget about them sometimes, don't we?
Yeah. So we've opened it up this year to pretty much all of them. We are trying to procure some land, as in we're looking to buy some land of our own because obviously with Browndown still being operational, it very much dictates when we can use it.
Yeah.
Which when you want to try and run 1 camp a month, doesn't really help.
And I mean, the land down where you are, it's not cheap, is it?
Not on the South Coast.
No, not on the South Coast. No. I was going to say it's full of dinghies, but I won't.
Not here, it ain't. Got the Isle of Wight. Got the Isle of Wight in the way.
Yeah. With fucking, I don't know. Hasn't the Solent got 3 tides or something like that as well? Weird. There's something about that, if I remember rightly. It's like it's a fucking dangerous place. I know that. I wouldn't like to swim out on a Solent too far. Fucking sucked away. I mean, so that's your plans for the future. Then you're going to be, to open it up more, get funding, hopefully get a plot of land for yourselves. I mean, you mentioned, the fucking name's just gone straight off my fucking head now. Hey, I'm shit at this. Jackdaw.
Oh, Jackdaw. Yeah.
You mentioned Jackdaw. Now I've had them on the podcast as well, and know, used to doing very, very similar things. There's a few places up here that do that. I think you just need to start your own little, like fucking sending people over to that one, and you just come over to this one. Like not amalgamating, but how can I put it? Not transferring, but sharing. Having collabs.
Well, that's what we're doing. We're collaborating with Jackdaw 2.0 because obviously the Jackdaw are in Canterbury and Kent.
Yeah.
Jackdaw 2.0 are based at Longmoor. And then you've got us smack bang in the centre of the two. Or, sorry, Jackdaw 2.0 are in between the two of us.
Yeah.
So by us going to them and them coming to us, we can sort of swap ideas, or the people that attend their camps, if they can't get to Kent for one of their ones, they can come to us. And if we've got people that are coming to ours, but they live a bit further along, they could go to maybe the Longmoor one. So we're sort of working in collaboration with them.
Yeah. And covering that area on the South Coast, yeah.
Yeah, so we've pretty much dominated, or we are covering from the bang on in the middle of the south all the way through to the southeast.
Yeah.
So we've only got to go the little bit further.
I was going to say, you just got to find people going the other way now, haven't you?
Yeah, that's it, yeah. Get someone down sort of Plymouth End and Cornwall. Yeah. And you've covered the entire south region.
We could do it enough and get people all the way around in country, mate. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I think Colin from Jackdaw 2.0, he's on about, because he's from Scotland anyway, and he's got a like a water sports centre that he jacked up with his mum. So he's looking at opening one up there as well in Scotland. So we are, so we are literally sort of starting to dot them about all over the place.
And the more the merrier. That's what I say. The more places that people can go to and get a bit of respite, or just to relax and talk. That's all people really well. I would say that's not all what people need to do, but it's a good start for what people need. Is to feel relaxed and feel comfortable. Have that, It's about building a relationship, Yeah,
I mean, the thing with it is it's that common, what do they call it? It's that sort of, that camaraderie. You know how each other tick.
Yeah.
And
like I said, it's a relationship, isn't it? Really. So I mean, yeah. Right, Trevor. I think it's come up to 1 hour and 20. I think we've covered all the bases on that one. I'm going to be back in touch with you at some point though, for another reason, and you'll find out why then.
Okay.
I'll talk about you afterwards. I won't keep you in suspense. Don't worry. I'll just keep the people who are listening in suspense. But you may find that there might be something interesting coming soon. So, right, we'll end the podcast there, mate. Again, thank you for coming on and telling us about your time in the military and varied. And I know there was probably loads in there that we skipped over and missed. But I wanted to get onto the ambush bit, and I wanted to sort of let people know about ambush. And again, we will put in the show notes all about your links and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And whether you get in touch with you, and if if you've got any future ones coming up, we can put them in the times and dates for them in with the show notes as well. So again, Trevor, thanks for coming on. It's been a pleasure.
Yeah, thanks very much.
All right, I'll end the recording now, mate.
Okay.
I hope you enjoyed that podcast. I enjoyed recording it. If you could just hit the like button, and also if you could subscribe and hit the notification bell, that'd be great, because it'll help the channel grow. The more people will see it, the bigger it'll get, and the more guests I can get on, and the more people I can talk to. Well, I hope you enjoyed it, like I said. Look forward to the next one. Hopefully we'll be out next week as normal. Bye-bye now.